Hi, I'm Rich Anderson. I'm Regional Sales Manager with TSSI, and today I'm speaking with Michael Borland of AMD. So what is Virtual Test?
So Virtual Test is a software package made by TSSI, and we use it at AMD to verify the patterns, the tester timing, and the actual circuit under test, all before silicon.
So what benefits are you getting from Virtual Test?
So the number one benefit that we found with Virtual Test was being able to reduce the time to data. So we took something that took 2 to 4 months, and we were able to do it in 24 hours. Additionally, we were able to find a circuit bug. This is not common, but the design team was able to fix prior to silicon.
And what are some of the additional benefits using Virtual Test?
It allows the test engineer and the designer to kind of speak the same language and facilitates that collaboration, and again, all pre-silicon. You can spread that out and front load your test resources and get them plugged into design. It gives them a better view intuitively of what the design is intended to do. A test engineer can then probe down into the circuit, which you can't do on an ATE with a real silicon circuit, and actually isolate the fault and feed that back to the design, or in some cases work in collaboration with design. So it really facilitates, collaboration between design and test very early on in the cycle that without Virtual Test you just have no way to really do.
So can you give us some examples of some of the problems that you've seen pre-silicon using Virtual Test?
So we had a wrapper that had to translate between these two interfaces, and through Virtual Test we were able to find out that there was a bit sequence where one was expecting least significant bit first and the other one was expecting most significant bit first. And through Virtual Test, because of the way that we were actually running our real patterns rather than a designer running some test vectors, we had real style patterns that were going to go onto our tester, and we were able to find that, hey, there's a disconnect between these two circuits, and that actually identified a circuit bug that the designer could go in and quickly fix. So that allowed us to save a mask revision. Another case is that Virtual Test, TSSI's solution, told us the exact pin and what was wrong. So we could go in and fix that, and I literally fixed hundreds of lines of code in about 2 days, having never seen the XML code before. So again, it offers a very efficient way to solve these problems that oftentimes the ATE vendors don't provide. In the TSSI solution in TVT, it tells me this pin has this discrepancy. You're trying to apply 2 wave shapes to the same signal, and it tells me which signal to go look at. So I can very quickly go and look at the 2 files, know what signal to look at, and fix the problem. And in one of the cases of the IP, 100% of my patterns were working first time. ATPG patterns, BIST patterns, PLL patterns, all right the first time. We were able to bring up, at speed, memory BIST in a new process on a very complex test chip in 24 hours. That's where TSSI's solution really gives me even more leverage, because now I have real data, so I can run an actual simulation and then go talk to the designer. One of the design teams basically said, we will use Virtual Test on every test chip from today forward, because the results were so dramatic.
Would you tell us about the support that you've experienced with TSSI?
Best vendor I've ever worked with, hands down. I mean, it was like having another team of 5 engineers that I didn't have to pay for other than the licenses. I had a really good partner in TSSI, and so I think, hands down, best vendor I've ever worked with.
Well, Mike, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us on Virtual Test this afternoon.